so many ways this could have gone, and you go into territories where Faze aren't going to be too uncomfortable moving into these maps. There's a world where, sure, GODSENT could look good, but if Faze come out the gate swinging, you know, they've had a couple of slow starts in some of their games. We see them losing maps against Seoul in their opening best of 3 in the group stage. Maybe there's a potential for them to get off to that slow start and GODSENT could take advantage, or else, I mean, I could maybe see that 2-0 come out for Faze.
Well, I mean, we saw Faze being obliterated by Big on this very map where Nico was made a non-factor. The question is, who's going to be a factor here? And it starts off being Brokey. Gets himself a quick one. Martin, in the meanwhile, lurking behind the ticket box, hoping that he can get something in when they start to retreat from the bomb plant. But Rain is the spanner in the works. There's so much info, yes, but Martin knows he needs to start moving in as well. Rain can deny anyone coming through from the murder hole, and Martin only has one direction to go. He finds it first, but coldzera's traded. coldzera's got 2, and he's still fighting. He gets 3. Zen left in a 1v4.
Yeah, and Zen was just not a part of the action there for the retake. They had the kit in the smoke on Crystal, but they don't win out on the trades. And Faze, that fast play towards A, they get into such great positions, not only to just deny rotations, but to hear where everybody is going on the side of GODSENT and Cold. I mean, he's just in the middle of nowhere, but taking fights. 3 kills for him. Faze taking the pistol in a very dominant fashion.
And it's great to see as well, because we had a few maps where Cold was, you know, freezing up a little bit. Not quite the hot hand that we sometimes see him have, but look at Spico. So aggressive, but he is punished. Rain knows that angle perfectly. He plays it himself, and Martin now with the deagle. Fast pace into him they go. Kirby's got the kill, but Farlig's got 2 of his own. Cold and Kirby, both keeping control. Well, Zen creeps around these smokes, but Crystal, what a shot! Cold is starting off beautifully so far.
Yeah, and Zen's on 7 HP, so just saving the armor. I mean, you expect to see these second round force buys, even rounds where you maybe make arguments for them to just save, go for guns and follow-up rounds. They can find themselves into pretty precarious spots with just pistols. They relied on it pretty heavily in the game against Big, the one that was such a heartbreaking loss. They're not quite able to get that consistency going. Yeah, Cold off to a very strong start. This is a battle of 2 solid international teams. You know, we've got a diversity in terms of where all the players are from. If you count the coaches as well, that's 12 people. There's 11 nationalities represented.
Well, I mean, listen, it would make Pitbull proud any day of the week. Thank you, Mr. International. You were the one who paved the way for us to get to this level. Pitbull, we salute you. I mean, that is how CS history worked, right? That's exactly how it went. It wasn't anything like Crystal being the pioneer of international teams back in Penta back in the day. And that's something to keep in mind as Cold is getting his thinking hat on. We do have a bit of a timeout coming through. The one very important thing to keep in mind and maintain constantly is going to be that GODSENT is essentially FaZe Clan Light. So either one of these teams have huge pop-off potential, but I have a bit of a feeling, as we're going to see what's happening in the other game, NIP are actually being rocked a little bit. Sprout looking to maybe lean into 10 rounds on the nuke T side, and with the 2v2 going on, that could very well work in their favor. Now, the interesting thing to also keep in mind, though, is that Sprout have, of course, had a couple of their players performing incredibly well. You can see over towards the scoreboard, Yana sitting on 11, but it's probably Snatchy and Diha who I want to see going into the CT sides, where obviously so much stronger. Meanwhile, though, back to FaZe and GODSENT. I'm sure there's a bit more to talk about as we see the 2v1 play out on our screen, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, there are other casters over on the B stream. You know, you can go and check them out as well. They're going to be focusing on that game as we just find the conclusion of that clutch. We're just getting things started here in our Group C matchup. FaZe off to a good start. Cold, solid on these entry frags. You know, the spacing and the scaling to the sides has been effective. GODSENT have been able to throw too many hiccups or speed bumps as they progress into sites. And we'll be delayed in seeing that further. Of course, it's just pistols out for GODSENT. We have a Zeus in Crystal's hands, and he typically likes to throw over towards the B side of things, but no, he's gonna be in that tried and true position. Primarily a stack here from GODSENT. They are trying to work for area denial, but FaZe are making short work of any sort of mid control.
And we saw this in their game versus Big as well, and Big was able to exploit it. Faze loved to take control over mid and then work the connector to go for a combined two-pronged hit on the A-bomb side. Cool, though. He's always that second prong, but Nico comes in first. Nice little kill for the Mac 10. Just farming up some cash. Always good to have a bit of extra bank in the pocket later on. But GODSENT, they don't care about bank, they care about bang for the buck, and they're not getting any out of it so far. Not much investment, but you still want to see at least a kill or two coming in. Those $300, they can matter. And well, Crystal, he's going to come through. That's the god of lightning right there. You'll have to see it.
No, Crystal won't get anything else. Berkey does track him down. Farling's trying to be a little bit tricksy, so he finds coldzera clearing out A ramp. That's an A key that he can follow into the next round, and they shouldn't be able to track him down. Of course, they're going to look for the hunt. There's still some time for Faze to investigate that. But stability in that T-side economy will be a big benefit for them moving forward. Of course, talked about how GODSENT can be very effective on low buys. And they're not off to that slow start. Of course, winning the pistol will be that additional buffer. Oh no, Farley. Okay, he does get tracked down in the end. Kjerby just at the tail end of the round. No AK brought forward for GODSENT. Of course, they can still invest in rifles. Farley, AWP, like you would anticipate. And he, I think, will be a big focal point for us. I think both the Danes, for either side of the coin, being the most recent additions to the squad, will be huge emphasis points because confidence, implementation into the systems have been major points of criticism. And Farley's not going to start off the round well, burning down to 46.
A lot of this will be down to Sneeko now as they start to move in. He smoked himself off, gives a better chance. Flashbang overhead as well, but Faze is already skilled on his side, and he's gone down. Kjerby to do the honors, while Farlig is next to follow. Rain from behind can decapitate, and now GODSENT have to save. Faceplan just making short work and making Modern a head's height shorter. That is beautiful stuff coming out from Faze. The way they're able to scale up and take control of the side is brilliant, especially when you consider that GODSENT this time over seemed to be wary of that mid presence, and this is something we didn't really see coming up from Faze to a large extent versus Big. We didn't see these fast-paced plays out onto the A-bomb site through A main. Largely, again, it was mostly a connector showdown more often than not.
Yeah, this is setting a really unhealthy precedent here for GODSENT, that they cannot rely on their A-side hold, so even if Faze start putting more emphasis on middle control, didn't expect them to meet the other side of it. Kjerby, even Molotoving out Crystal, they get nothing. Kjerby going down to the flames of Nico. Or, sorry, the other way around. Nico does hurt the scoreline of Kjerby ever slightly, but a round win is a round win. They will be happy with that. Strong stuff. Very minimal casualties in these rounds as well, so they are starting to accrue cash on that T side that... Oh, we talk about the pistols. GODSENT on them. Some armor surrounding it. Not as much utility as you maybe like to see in mid to late round situations if they get themselves into some sort of an advantageous spot.
Then struck out the nade. Doesn't do too much damage, but... Here you start to wonder... what exactly is going to be the game plan for GODSENT later on? We know that on Mirage, more often than not, their game plan is sometimes very much mod and go kill. Speaking of mod and go kill, Rain was perhaps given the same command. However, he's a deagle, shies away from it and lets Crystal take point. But mod and go kill, Modern! Go kill, Modern! Yes! He's got it out, and they've got 3. Suddenly, everything's going wrong for FaZe Clan, but coldzera's still alive, and that's something very, very right. Needs to get out the ace clutch if they want to win this, but that's not possible. Zen, with the stolen off, will steal the round as well, and it all comes out from Modern Go Kill.
I don't know how they get so much consistency on these pistols. They just find themselves in such great spots. And, I mean, that seems just to be a gap in the game plan. That's actually something that we've criticized FaZe in the past for their defaults. Kjerby just setting up for nades. You know, he does have somebody with him, but there's nobody clearing out the underpass. That's something that we thought they'd ironed out. We didn't see it too much in the group stage. So we're seeing a different look for FaZe. They're going for faster plays overall. They're going back to some of their older styles of default. And they're punished for it in that round.
And this is also where you start to wonder how much did that loss to Big rattle them? Because there were a lot of situations where you were thinking, yeah, Faze should start to win this. Faze did make a very solid comeback back into it, but then Tapson was just dominating Nico in aim duel after aim duel, but domination will now come through from Farley as Colzera finally seems to be losing some of those duels as well. He will fall. And in the meanwhile, Faze still don't have the bomb. So Zen finding damage here would be big, but instead he's been damaged. Kirby takes him down and they will go back, retrieve the bomb. And an A-side hit might be what's on the cards, but it all comes down to what Kirby can find and get done over towards apartments. Rain, the same is true for him and Connector.
Silence on the map. Just the one flash thrown to the B apartments. That's thrown a bit more of a head spinner in for GODSENT. They rotated Farley in to support Crystal. Meanwhile, Faze regrouping towards Palace. It's going to be a pincer towards A. That's what they're lining up for. Modern is still close A ramp, so it's another angle that Faze will have to be worried about approaching the site. They should recognize that.
20 seconds and still no rotations coming in. Stiko seems to be very, very wary of Connector, but Rain's not going to be the immediate hit. He's going to be the second prong of assault. Rain might even get the timing, but Stiko turns around in time. 10 seconds, and now it's all about Modern. The Molotov is there to keep him blocked out. The bomb will be planted because of it. But Modern is still around the corner and in broke his head, going for more as he peeks out, but he's just providing a distraction for the rest of the CTs to come in from behind. Kirby and Nico trying to fight back, but already Kirby is down and Nico's left alone. He's the man you want to have, but does he have what it takes? Nico starts off well, gets the first, but he's revealed his position, and now they're in hot pursuit. But the heat is on, and Nico is the man to bring the fire. Looking for the kill, but can't get it. They're pre-firing, and the Deagle will come out on top. Faze Clan, they may be delayed a bit too much. Maybe you can call it timing for Stiko to turn around then as well. But at the end of the day, when there's 20 seconds left on the clock, there's just so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah, and that's the critical kill. There's nobody that can trade Rain out, so that duel towards Connector makes things so much easier for players like Madden to stay alive for so much longer. There's Stiko's angle they need to be concerned of. They Molotov'd out Madden's position, so I'm surprised they weren't more aware that that was a possibility. Brokey came out with a pistol.
Shout out to AZS. I think he's the one who's doing these. Obviously, it's AZS doing these, man. Like, I might be wrong about that, but I'm sure we'll have someone tell us in our ear if I am. That being said, though, timeout coming in from Faze Clan. GODSENT, on the other hand, have not gone for the double op setup. I really appreciate that. Honestly, sorry, slip of tongue. They have gone for the double op setup. And the reason why I really like this is because GODSENT's double ops are very specific in the sense that they pull them out when the secondary player just feels like it. This is something we've talked to the GODSENT players about. This is very, very often more of a feel-based call rather than an overall structural decision. And that means in the hands of someone like Modern or Zen, you can have an amazing highlight round because you know they're feeling confident. And that's what we're really hoping for at this stage. Zen's playing from short with that secondary op, but Crystal's actually going to be the one to take first contact. Kirby going in, he's been tagged up and slowed down. The Mac-10, however, still in hot pursuit. Going forward, he's got full control, but Rain's the one to find the first.
Yeah, they give them the site. They don't play within it. And so it's an easy scaling here for Faze. The fact that they find a kill as well. Oh, Crystal, if you'd fired off a shot, you may have found some healthy results. And oh dear, utility, the flash. Okay, that's, yeah, they're already sort of backing off. But if Crystal had found one, they may have doubled back, thought about it once more. Kirby, long distance to Mac 10. Shake your way to a frag, my friend. It's really difficult. 13 HP. That distance with the Mac, it would have been a couple more bullets, but Crystal, although he's received quite a lot of damage, quite a few bullets in the back of his torso, he should be able to get away with this one. It's still a one round for Faze.
I somewhat regret bending the narrative of Zen's confidence now, considering he's just playing from the back of Market, playing from the door over there. He really needed to find that kill, but I don't know if we can get a replay of Rain or not, but that was a fantastic shot to be coming through. He just jumped out onto the van, got a shot straight down into the skull of Zen, and with that, the round was lost. Zen, his entire purpose in that position is to stop them from crossing over the bench. That's the only way they actually have some sort of an ability to retake in that space. But Faze, still up 5, but GODSENT obviously with 4 players kept alive and 2 ops, they're perfectly fine economically.
Then a little one-way towards middle, so Rain's been taken out of the round early. Stiko, the position in Palace, coldzera loses the duel, so they keep that man advantage ever slight, even with the dismissal of Zen. Faze only have middle to work off of. They need to be worried about the potential for a flank as well. Stiko could have over-pushed from that position. There's still so much time on the clock, so many options available primarily for the CT side to work off of. Nico, ooh, duel presented, but he doesn't clear out Madden, so it's just Kjerby with an AWP in hand. You know, maybe a rifle, I would have given it to him. The potential to pull this one off. The AWP, not exactly his most proficient weapon. Oh, he's given the head, and Stiko lingers a little too long.
Listen, Kirby's always had decent first bullet accuracy, and with an AWP, last I checked, you only need 1 bullet. So, you know, maths checks out. Just saying, Michael. They say never do maths on broadcast. They lied. I can do it. I'm great. Fantastic that way.
Yeah, your highlight has been there was one damage nade, I think, on a map we casted on Nuke, and you said 280 damage. It came out to about 287, so...
There you go. But right now, the question is, how much damage can Kjerby do? 287 isn't quite the number he needs, but Kjerby is brought down before he can look for the 279. Third round on the board for GODSENT. Nicely done off the back of initial pick coming out from Zen. But what's really interesting over here is that you can see FaZe has actually reverted back to how they were playing ESL Pro League in their defaults. Because that was when Nico was very heavily relying on getting himself in towards short ladder. Ever since then, they actually changed their default significantly to have a slower mid take, but then go in and focus on connector instead. So I really have a feeling that the big game really messed with their confidence. But look at this again.
Oh,
he's already there. Are they expecting this? Nico will be able to find the first, but Fardig is right around the corner. So the trade should be possible, and he's pulled out. The Deagle peeks into him, but Nico says no before being denied. Stiko to take him down. 2 players on this B-bomb side. Now it's just 1, but Zun is almost enough. Stiko left alone, and he will have to save. There's still enough money on the CT side to buy, but what a round from Nico.
And that's kind of best case scenario. Martin is sitting in the smoke. He's lining up nades towards top mid, and so he misses the timing. Doesn't expect that will be the play that Nico goes for. Of course, we understand that that's something that they would have implemented before, but maybe reverting back to that older style, GODSENT just don't anticipate it. Typically Rain's with Nico. If they're working the map a little slower, you know, you'll typically see Rain take the closer ranged angle, go towards bottom connector, flash it, be a bit more methodical in their approach. But the fast B pincer, and it's all catalyzed by Nico. Exactly what the fantastic stuff.
Yep. And the other thing to also keep in mind as we look at the other game again, where Sprout is right about to kick some ninjas out of a server, it seems like. Pretty poor buy, actually, from the ninjas as well. If you look over to the utility, they've got almost none of it, though. 120 in, I'm sure they've used some of it as well. And if you want to check that out, you can go over to twitch.tv/DreamHackCS2. But that would be a bad decision, because you want to see what happens between FaZe and GODSENT, don't you? And right now, FaZe is again setting up for a faster paced play with Nico left and lurk on mid. This is exactly what they were running on ESL Pro League. Farlig, though, he might be aware, but the flashbang will force him back, and now he can't scope out without giving his position away. Stiko gets the first kill with the Molotov. Narden helps out with a flashbang to make sure that they can't actually see that they're being burnt, but coldzera is unseen, is unheard, and is just a specter of death.
There's a part of me really wondering how Farlig was staying alive for so long. He was in an awkward position atop the ladder. There's a Molotov at his feet. He's running all around the site. Didn't think he'd get shot through a smoke by cold, but that's certainly one way to punish.
It was a very well-timed flashbang from London, though, to anti-flash FaZe clan.
You can see they're reading into how GODSENT like to play out the late rounds as well. Like, we've seen Stiko push a ramp to try and get an advantage, see if they can get more information as to where FaZe are going, but still playing very far back.
Now coming out the smoke.
Though.
Yeah, and the smokes are coming out. Rotation needs to be here soon enough. Stiko's found the first, not a weapon he is famous for, but he will make it work nonetheless. Modern looking and hoping to push through a smoke from Palace into Palace rather, and coldzera will fall. Suddenly a 4v2 with a nade still available on Crystal as he makes his rotation over. He is going to be able to chuck that out towards default. But before that even happens, Martin's found another one. Nico peeks into Nico. And that'll be all she wrote. 4th round on the board for GODSENT. Really nice stuff from them. I really appreciate these rounds that GODSENT are able to get because so much of it comes down to the patience to reset, back up, and trusting your players who are on the side holding it. You're not over-rotating. You're not saying, quick, guys, it could be an A-side hit. Oh, no, run back. We've seen that from a few teams.
Well, the tendency was still there for GODSENT, but instead of pushing for information over at A, they go to the place of least resistance. The B side of the map seemingly untouched. Zen, as they were pulling that execute, did allow for a bit of a faster rotation there from GODSENT, but just hitting the shots they needed to. Martin with the kill through the smoke. Just enough. Now you can see a scrappy buy-in from Faze. Only a couple rifles out. That's been entrusted in Kirby and Nico's hands.
This is dangerous. Nico's already been given a pathway in, and you know, the second he's been given too much space, you are so worried. They've completely given up CT spawn on the GODSENT side, but FaZe Clan, they are just angling for connector. Nico's hoping to catch off a few players on rotate, and there's 3 players on B, so he could be very, very powerful.
Martin spotting them top connector, but Brokey, what a shot. Nico in a hot seat. He lines them up, but he cannot knock them down. But again, it's the pistols here for FaZe that are finding the entries. GODSENT do get one back on Farley, but Nico's cut off the rotation, so not rushing the bomb plant. They know that they can cut GODSENT out of this round if they just play it patient. They spot out Zen as well, and they're looking for another angle. Kirby trying to intercept, but Zen reads into it. That may be a mistake. Farlig as well, chiming through with the AWP. If he spams rain, he's low, and he could go down, but Nico covers him from up high, from stairs. Faze, a 7.
And that still got so close. Then if he just won that one extra duel, that would have been in their favor. You can see that FaZe Clan start off beautifully, but even so, that could have gone very, very wrong. Nico, a couple of good frags, and what a tap to end it as well. Love to see it. FaZe Clan, though, another timeout. We've seen a lot more of these early on already. Wow. Now, the money on GODSENT isn't fantastic, but it's at that precarious point where, you know, you're late into a half, your loss bonus is really poor as well. And speaking of poor losses, well, that's a poor loss that you'll see right here. Ninjas in Pajamas getting absolutely destroyed, 16-6. Sprout will be able to win that one out. Wow. Still could be potentially 2 more games to go, so don't count the Ninjas out if you are a fan of those. I know there's probably a few of those sitting in our production room with the good old Swedish camaraderie, but hey, right now you've got a Swedish coach for GODSENT, so maybe there's some hyping and cheering going on for that as well.
Yeah, channel all that national pride into one person, and who better than Devilwalk, legend of the game,
winner of the first ever major. Martin is the one wielding the AWP, not Farlig this time, and he is hoping that someone just creeps close to him. He just wants a shotgun, hit anyone down, while is waiting for Nico to maybe go through, and he will be gifted that. He hears them, but the smoke actually could be massive. Martin and Zen have a bit of a crossfire, but now it's all about Stico. He sees Coldzera, and does he realize there's another one? Doesn't even need to realize he's gone away to safety, and Zen has found Rain in the meanwhile. Stico flashes over. Nicely done. Kirby's spot out, and Stico doesn't peek in until it's too late. Kirby will find the duel, and Farlig's forced into action. Pushes forward across his smoke, which is laid down to have more maneuverability, but Martin's the one to tag through a wall. Kirby will not fall. Brokey connects with Martin, leaving just Crystal and a 1v3 that is doable, but not easily so. Nico coming in from his side. Does he realize it will peek outwards? And as he crosses, Nico's heard it, given the information over, and Kirby will finish him off. 8th round on the board for FaZe Clan.
And that round looked like it was shaping up to be a GODSENT win. Even with the limited investment around those rifles that they brought through, it didn't seem as though FaZe were going to be able to pull that one back, but some solid frags in response. You see Kirby, solid pathway, taking spawn control as well. They knew where Crystal was coming from. Let's start out with a very quick 5v3 into 2v1, which is unideal for GODSENT. They only have so many times that they can win on these pistols, surely. Rain is cleaning up a few in middle. Nico as well to support.
Now, let's not forget, GODSENT did have a pretty poor CT side versus Big as well. They were down 4-11. They brought it back on their terrorist side with some heroics from Zen, with some heroics from Martin. But right now, Stiko's looking on to put on a cape. But unfortunately, he hasn't seen the Incredibles. Gets swept away into a fan and gets absolutely destroyed.
Oh. Those are probably the most heartbreaking plays to witness because he could have brought it closer, taken a rifle, started to reposition. He would have had some space to work off of. A sigh of relief for Faze.
Panic that starts to build in internally. He's like, oh no, I missed it first. I've got to get this thing. I have to. And then it's just compounding and compounding. But does it go into the next round? As they're actually leading forward into a nice little charge. But the flashbang's good. Rain, however, has been brought down. Brokey trades, but he's only got an op, so he has to re-peek out. He still gets it done. A nade is good, but where he was, not where he is. Still a 3v3. Not utility. You know, utility not really there for the side of GODSENT. And they have to rely on sheer firepower, which is slightly scary, but coldzera should maybe be the one with the heebie-jeebies. As he does get tagged down, both himself and Brokey fairly low, and that could be the difference maker along with a flank from Stiko. Look at Crystal's position, though. He's thinking of creeping up towards B short, and he'll do that because Martin wants to be the one defending from market, but Brokey, he's expecting this perhaps, but he's not got the timing. Stiko will hear it. Stiko will find it, and the bomb with it. Smoke goes out as well. That'll give him a little bit of an awkward one-way, maybe. I don't actually know how that one works. I've never seen that before, but Crystal. On the angle, but can he get the kill? No, he can't. coldzera. Oh, yes, he can. Never mind.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was going to say Crystal should have had the advantage in that duel, but it seemed like Gold got the drop on him initially. Surprised he comes away with that one. But that's the type of play that you expect to see from the players like Stikos. A bit more leadership, seems to have a very strong voice within GODSENT. When they're in these situations that seem so hectic, that don't seem as though they're going to have a firm read on what Faze are doing. He's the one that typically takes initiative. Make sure that everyone else is a little bit more comfortable, takes the round in the palm of his hands. That late flank really caught Faze off guard. Now a play quick towards A. Stiko there on the entry, BRB to trade. And there's a little bit more resistance than they expect. Madden does get one just before all of those smokes bloom, but Faze can dial it in.
Well, he's dialed in the bomb, yes, but can they dial it in onto the CT side? Still a bit of utility left, much better position to be in than they were in the last round, and even that was a win for them. GODSENT looking and searching for their sixth, but the main man to prevent will be coldzera. He's so aggressively far forward and he's been punished already. Brokey on the AWP has been found as well, leaving just Nico. 1 versus 4. Smoke is down as well. He's peeked out. They haven't seen him yet, but now they will. Crystal finds him and destroys him. 6th round on the board for GODSENT, and we'll be going to a quick break. When we're back, it's time to see whether they can keep this momentum going on the terrorist side.
Lives on 1 HP, and what a brutal outcome that is for Mouse Sports.
But either way, Alexi B lost. His position around mid is gone, and well, this double orb setup has just started to tear OG a new one. Now it's Rops' turn to add some bodies to the pile. A 3K already. I think Frozen, well, he's Bagsied this one, even with Rops' help along the way. They're Arrogant just goes straight through. BMAS tries to trade him, but they've kept the man advantage. There is just confidence pumping through the veins of Mouse Sports. Now Chris J goes out long. There's nothing they won't push. Vince, we have a game on our hands.
Oh, we absolutely do, and it's like the delayed tactical magic now starting to come up from Carrigan. Can they keep it going, though? Issa, 1-on-3 with 15 HP to his name. Doesn't have the bomb either. Now listen, Mouse Sports, I know this has been a beautiful turnaround. You've landed some madness, but do not play yourselves out of this. Issa could get caught, but Rops has his head removed. This is the issue. Sometimes you get too aggressive. You let that confidence dictate everything. There's Issa. I was about to say, does he realize he doesn't have the bomb the way he was moving? But of course he does. It's in middle. And can he get this? Oh my god, the one tap of dreams! It becomes a nightmare for Mouse Sports. That should have been...
But that's where Flamesy will catch him. And now down to Stown and Cadian. They're both low HP, and Crucial finding one is then traded back. So let's see if Cadian can clap what is left of Endpoint. He got that immediate trade onto the other Opper. They are all on the bomb site, and Cadian's cutting him down. He got 2 of the 3, looking for the 1v4, and it's just 1 step away. Tech9's out. Robin's close. Cadian doesn't see him, and that's going to leave Endpoint a chance to catch their breath. But you know everybody on the server was just puckered, man. 5 rounds for Endpoint. That's so damn close.
He had that, man. I'm shaking my head. Like, I'm shaking my head at disappointment. Like, it was just a bit unlucky, but how are you going to do all that work, Katie, and not get that final kill? That was his. Yesterday, he played so damn well versus Astralis. Despite losing, was the key fragger on Heroic. And, I mean, it's
250, bomb planted, and Nip somehow turning this in their favor.
I have no idea how ends have let this just happen. Well, it's not coming in from behind, taking down Ariel. Now X7, well, he's the last remaining player. No stranger to the Ents banner, but recently been playing over at Havu. He has to try and win the round for Ents here. Kit picked up a chance still to win the round. The bomb is not planted for Twitch. He has to cross into the open, and X7 just swings on by with the headshot. That'll be Ents winning the pistol round. But my God, Alex, that came way too close. Right down to the 1 versus 1.
All they needed yesterday. GODSENT have found 6, but FaZe Clan have come in. Sunglasses on, problems gone. The question is, can GODSENT do it on their T side, or are Nico and company going to be proving to be a bit too much for them to handle?
Well, we'll see if they get it done on the CT side. They're just shy of double digits. Oh, Nico, what a start to the round. Rain as well will find one, but Madden's there on the response. Rain just sitting on the site, still buying time for these rotations to come, and they can't track him down so easily. Oh my goodness, how is he dodging for so long? Down to a 2-on-2, and GODSENT still yet to get a firm foothold on the site. They know where these players are here from FaZe, and they're getting caught out in the open, but again, it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Kirby in the clutch, Madden on the other side. There's a kit available and a smoke as well for Kirby.
And Kirby has to get it all done over here. Martin 2 creeping around. The 1v1 will decide so much. And Kirby, he's about to get the timing, but he doesn't look at the right angle. And now Martin's got a chance to sneak right out. He's gone over to Tetris. Kirby is going in, but he's not sticking it. Martin was worried, and no longer so. He's going to come around the corner, around the default box. Does Kirby realize this? But Kirby, he's trying to use this as a one-way. Can he see Martin from over the smoke? That is the question. Martin about to get the sight lines, but he backs off and said, Martin playing this so well, but Kirby has himself the angle, fires straight through the roof of scaffolding, and he will have the defuse. The smartest man in the world. Of course he's a Dane. Of course he is.
And the cheeky little smile at the end as well, because he could spot the feet, but it wasn't an angle that it would favor Madden in the clutch. I mean, it's an unpredictable angle to be in a 1 versus 1, but he just gets the drop on him, taking that high ground.
For both players as well. Like, I thought Martin had outplayed him. I thought that, Kirby never expects this, but then, out of nowhere, there you go. And so that's why I always say, never doubt a Dane. 143, and Nico's ready for Zen's aggression in. Zen, however, with the Tech 9, could come out on top over here. If Nico starts to push through, that'll be problematic. And Zen, does he realize there's another man right around the corner? Yes, he does, and he doesn't find him. Coldzera is dinked. Well, that is just a head massage for him. Cole is still fighting up. This is Crystal has been tagged right back down to 10, while Martin will maintain advantage for the terrorist side. Advantage that is purely numeric, though. HP-wise, not really there. And even numeric is going to be lost as Crystal will go down. Martin, however, has crept past already up from Connector, and now it's all Kirby and Coldzera left in the 2v3.
Kirby has the potential to grab them on the cross. Madden as well as a gap in the smoke. Oh, they haven't spotted each other. Kirby just catching a glimpse. He seems to adjust his crosshair, but Madden also realizes cold, all that's left. And a 1v3 with this HP, it's not seeming likely. There is a kit in his path, so at the very least that could be recovered, but GODSENT, you can see they're giving him respect. There's a hairline angle being held from Zico at a distance, and he takes the fight. He just wants Coldzera out of the round. GODSENT, they lose the pistol, but they come back swinging in the second round. They are so good at converting these second rounds, and it all came down to the play from Underpass and these kills from Madden. He just locks down Connector.
Legend says that Martin's real name when he started off the game was Made in Olympus because this man is godly. I've been
I need
saving
to
that
know
one for
where
a while.
where you're reading all these facts from, because I am not subscribed.
Hey, AZS isn't the only one with facts over here, okay? Godsent and Faze Clan, but Nico, ooh, that's a tickle party he didn't want to be invited to, but will still be joining the stack on the A-bomb site. Now, Godsent seem to be well aware of the possibility. They're playing very spread out, similar to how they were actually playing on CT side as well. Godsent do like to let their players have some more freedom. Once the first 30 have elapsed, that is generally Crystal's MO. Get some great players, make them better, and then let them do what they want to. It's faith that's hard to have, but it might be misplaced as they seem to be going over towards A.
That's where the stack is for Faze. This is the thing with their CT setups. They put so much emphasis on mid on their T side, but CT is a whole different story. They typically leave it wide open. Rain gonna lose the first duel. Stiko as well does get his bell rung, but he finds the frag nonetheless. KRB still on the site. It is predominantly a stack, but it's being picked apart one by one because they cannot support one another on these fights. And Nico, he has to back away. There's surely no feasible chance of them chiming back into the round. But Colt, he still goes for a little bit of a peek. He's gambling with his life ever so slightly. Nico's on the other side of the map. He wanted nothing to do with this.
Godsent have found themselves this 8th round, and they've done so beautifully despite seemingly having made the incorrect decisions. But turns out if you just kill people, the incorrect decisions suddenly look pretty okay. Nico is hoping to take from that philosophy over here and get some exits as he does get spotted out. There's a player jumping around, and now that they know where Nico is, they are likely to avoid him. Very little reward to actually take him down. You don't even have a Mac 10 or anything on those lines. Just no point losing your armor, is there? Godsent will find the 8th round, and very soon are likely to be able to angle for the 9th as well, with Faze's economy being as poor as it is. This is exactly what you are afraid of if you're a fan of Faze Clan. I'm not actually sure which player that was. I think that was Modern. Yes, I think that's Modern.
That's Crystal.
Oh, sorry. Of course. My bad.
I'm like, wait a second. Are you kidding me right now? Yeah, that's Crystal. Iconic
it's
man.
It's computer lighting, man. It's a computer. He is indeed. Now, Farlig. Ooh. Looking in towards mid, but the Pharmacist is not what finds a kill. It is, in fact, Crystal, the icon himself, and his grenade, while Martin is just getting some bullets in as well, making sure Nico is afraid. Now, let's also not forget that a lot of this map will, on the CT side of Faze, come down to Nico and his duels. We know that he loves to play around connector, and he loves to take control of window as well, all on his own. Yeah. So he takes so much responsibility, and he is the man to give it to, but at the same time, sometimes he does get it given to him. And that is when Faze starts to crumble. Rain right now, nice little shots from the USB, does get some damage and a kill, but no more than that.
Damage, the primary focus here for Faze. See, they're all holding the line deep spawn. If anybody from GODSENT, it's a little too overzealous, especially with Madden on such low HP. He could fall victim to a body shot here from Nico. It would do all the same. Shadow to give up the first kill. Nico, oh, okay, he's not going to swing. I thought he was going to take advantage of that, but just good old bait and nothing. No switch whatsoever. So GODSENT now knocking on the door of double digits. A good old smile for the side as they're really recovering this T side half. This is after they concede that pistol round, and I'm telling you, they've made some kind of deal with the devil. I'm working on a theory that the amount of times they win on low buys or scrappy buy rounds against teams, they'll make you question whether the team you support actually has solid anti-ecos.
They've set up for a very fast take for ladder room, actually, but they're not going for it. It's just the smokes to make coldzera feel a little bit worried, and coldzera loves to play this angle. Nade goes in, it's deep, it's good, but it's not great. Kirby's been tagged up enough to feel a little bit threatened, but right now what's interesting is that you've got 3 players angled towards the B-bomb site. Broki's playing for short. coldzera loves to play from ladder room, and we know that already, but It seems to be a hit towards that A side potentially, but this would be the worst possible way to do it. There are 2 players already on short. Nico's in a position where he can bear down connector as well. This is so difficult, and it'll all come down to whether Stiko can find the initial kills on the A bomb site, or whether coldzera will be the one to really come through and destroy it over here. Now, they do seem to expect this. This is a play he loves to go for, and I'm sure that Crystal's done his research.
Oh, research or not, the movement's not quite there for GODSENT, so information gained here for Faze. Of course, they have a pretty solid setup to deal with an A-side pincer. And it's off of that they start moving back towards B. They see the reaction, Cold not getting dropped by Farlig as he thought he had the upper hand. Now it just has to be a commitment. 3 players grouping up into the apartment.
They're rotating.
30 seconds left.
They're rotating. Stiko sold this. Stiko sold it.
Oh my days.
Oh no! Brokey now has to do so much, and the flashbang will prevent him from finding the bomb before it's transported over. Nico, at the very least, does find Stiko, and with this, it's a 3v5. Yes, the advantage is there, but Kirby's the one who is delivering on it. It's now down to just 1, and Zen can't do anything but go for damage. The flashbang might give him a bit more space as he's crept forward and is going around towards the empty pillar. Now, Brokey going down would be absolutely massive. FaZe Clan have had so many economically difficult rounds that even if they win this one, they have to be careful about Brokey's life, and he has lost it. Zen now with another flashbang, chucked out, but it gives away his position, and Rain comes in from behind, knowing that he's not turned around and is not aware of the apartment's player. 11th round on the board for FaZe Clan, but that was very sketchy from GODSENT. However, at the end of the day, good damage done at least.
Yeah, dangerous stuff. Of course, you can see we have a little bit of a picture-in-picture of the other stream. That's on Mirage as well. So if you weren't happy with the dosage you're getting here, there's another stream, of course. So this is really beginning to heat up. I mean, that gets very worrying for FaZe because they almost make an incorrect rotation. Fortunately for them, because they had Brokey on the AWP, he sat down to anchor the site, bought a bit more space for Kirby as well. They're a lot more proactive with Kirby on the rotations on this DT side. I mean, that has differed from Burley. Cold, under a lot of pressure, but he does a good job of circumnavigating utility in ladder room primarily, and he still finds ways to sit in that position going unchecked.
Cold's one of the best players to watch if you want to know how to not be moved away from ladder room. And although he does back off at this point, it's more because the CTs are content with Rain's position. It's such a hard angle to spot. Stiko is checking for it, but it will not matter. Rain still comes out on top. And with this, he's found information to boot. 4 players inside middle is lovely to have. You've got full control over it. But when you've lost any sort of a fake option on A, when you've lost any sort of a double prong attack option in A because you can't actually retake Palace, this becomes a whole lot harder.
I wonder how much of that was just Rain having a good spawn for that position. Typically it'll be Nico, the man you put emphasis on. You'd highlighted him before as man who typically takes initiative on the CT side. And look at the timing for Nico. That's perfect. Zen's gone.
And with Zen's demise, Nico's looking for more, but a Molotov at his feet will reveal his position. Martin will have to peek out, and he does so, but Nico's intercepted. He's got it done beautifully. So 4 kills to his name, and he says, this is my game, this is my map. How dare you challenge me?
Jeez, what a lockdown over at A from Nico. They all line up as they emerge from the connector. Nico just keeps fighting, lines up the spray. And that's the round done and dusted. Sure, GODSENT recovered on their T side to start, but now that FaZe have got themselves into these premium rifles, they get the AWP out as well. It hasn't been the AWP that's had the most impact. It has been just the rifles, but they're playing a slightly different setup as a result, and it's working out wonderfully. Execute towards A for GODSENT.
Rain is looking to intercept. Already good damage dealt, and Crystal should be falling. Indeed, he does. Dink is there, yes, but Rain is still going. How does he dare with this little HP? We'll never know. But what we do know is that GODSENT have lost 3 players already. And although they get 1 in return, it doesn't seem like it'll matter too much. Brokey, very weak. Will back off and let the rest of his team start to pick up the dirty laundry around them. These players can back off and try and find some more space towards another side of the map, but space can be found. Advantages will be slightly more difficult. Now, if they can get over to B fast enough, maybe you can set up with that 1 smoke and the Molotov that Martin have. But again, that's assuming they don't See, this is the problem as well. They're slowing down so much. And FaZe Clan are, interestingly enough, not even cheating one player over. They're also not getting aggressive to check for information. They're so worried. And by the time they start to move, Seiko should be down in the site unless he spends too much time clearing these angles. And it seems like that's exactly what's happened. They've not had faith in themselves. They've not had the confidence, but Kirby's gone down. Stiko and Martin will be tagged up slightly. Martin more than Stiko, but the bomb's down. Broky's low. Broky could be brought apart, and Stiko has caught the angles, the timing, but he can't get the kill. Stiko still unable to take down Broky. And with this, they have to be careful of the short player. Stiko pulls out a nade. This is not working out in his favor. Martin wants to peek out with a flashback, but Martin's found Broky. Stiko's peeking in as well. GODSENT and Nico. These are the two players you want to have. Nico will find one more. Stiko in a 1 versus 2. Tries to find them. Nice little tap is present from him. He's now waiting for Nico. Comes in! Takes it home! Stiko, the beast!
I can't believe they pulled that off. Stop pulling out utility, man. We saw it from both sides. Making me incredibly nervous. I mean, you hold that angle with the AWP. Stiko is gone, but he stays alive. He pulls up clutch for GODSENT, and they call a timeout. My question for FaZe, you know, you hold down the A bomb site. You don't rotate for such a long time. Why do you begin to separate and give them the duels that GODSENT are looking for?
And they throw away the blind man's advantage. They throw away the fact that Rain was able to get those first 2 kills with his aggression, and they somehow lose it out. It even seemed like GODSENT had made the mistakes, but Stiko, with that initial kill, he opens up so much space in the bomb site, and despite him not being able to find that one onto Broky, he still makes it happen. He still makes it work. Beautifully done as well. And against GODSENT and Nico.
Yeah.
GODSENT and Nico.
Things were really looking good for FaZe in that round as well. Questionable rotations or lack thereof coming back to haunt them. Broky does still get the AWP in this round, and he's being entrusted to lock down the A site. He does have Rain backing him up a little deeper through spawn so he can spot through the site. Broky doesn't have to challenge that wide-facing angle, but he's being trapped in a position where he could get utility out of this spot, and Crystal almost takes him down. Rain bailing Broky out.
Oh, but Stiko will still get the kill. He is feeling it right now. Rain switches up for the AWP, is hoping to find maybe a gap in that smoke, or maybe even just back off. And that has to be the call. FaZe Clan don't have much utility. You don't have a flashbang on anyone but Kirby. Going in at this point would be a travesty, but seems like they'd still like to make sure that if there's anyone in pursuit, they can at least get exits. And one thing that's been interesting, as Rain does end up backing off, one thing that's been really interesting actually is they have very consistently not been breaking this murder hole vent. And I think some of that comes down to the fact that we saw Zen yesterday exploiting that so consistently, where he's able to just silently get into the window room and climb through. FaZe Clan note that they don't put the most emphasis on the mid, so they decide to just let that vent stay unbroken. It's an interesting decision.
I think there was an interview as well for Nika. When I saw Rain pick up the AWP, I got a little bit worried. It's like, who's the worst AWPer? And, you know, Rain has really good aim, and he's like, yeah, I think it has to be Rain. He picks up the AWP, it's just like, yeah, chuck it to somebody else, please. They do save it over, though. He doesn't have to take too many fights. Ooh, they're jumping into the Molotov. Not going to take as much damage, massive. But the spread forces Kirby back down, and Martin's found a kill elsewhere. That's through middle.
That is a perfect read as well, because Kirby and GODSENT always like to have a player on balcony if they're not going to have too much utility to work around with. So the Molotov coming out early on, that's perfectly done. They make sure that FaZe Clan now have to feel so much more uncomfortable actually creeping up, because Zen is around that corner. Sure, Zen's not peeking directly, but again, discomfort will be perpetual. Smoke comes out towards top middle. Nico still is actually already past, not top middle, sorry, top connectors. Nico is already past it though, so not the biggest of deals. Now,
they can
Kirby will get some...
Yeah, they can lead towards B here. I mean, look at how far Rain's pushed up.
And Kirby already has information that they're given oversteps, so they're not rotating. GODSENT now is waiting. He's burning, and he's been brought down. Kirby, though, can't say the same for him. 3 kills to his name, and back down to a 2v2. It wouldn't be a GODSENT round if it wasn't a clutch, and it's their time to try and bring it back in slightly more even scenarios. Sparling will go down, and Crystal, not the man for the job, but can he do it anyway? He's a temporary plumber, but maybe he can fix these leaks. Nico and Rain coming through. Crystal jumps up, and he's going to have to throw that flashbang over. It goes completely awry. He can't get it done, and now it's just trying to go for a bomb plant. No time to work with. Rain scouted him out as well, and Crystal just tries to get some damage, just tries to get the kill. He'll have to go down, and is it after time? Yes, it is. Ooh.
Yeah, that is unideal. What a job. What a great job from Kjaerbye. Just remaining in movement, making sure to deal with the initial players that GODSENT are trying to get out to create space for the rest of the squad. Each and every duel. Fast with the FAMAS. Even while he was heavily handicapped in the round. You saw how much damage the Molotov did, and there's a peek from Brokey. Very rarely do Faze put emphasis on middle control, but Brokey getting that initial line, they may investigate that further. They know that that will be weakened now for GODSENT.
Modern still around the corner. GODSENT. Honestly, I probably favor them more in 2v5 than I do in 4v5s, which is so weird to say. Modern, however,
deal with the devil.
It's true. Will his spider senses be switched on or not? Rain has been found. Modern is the one to do it, and there's no one actually in short, so they can't punish him over. Modern's still wary of it though, as he moves back just to make sure, and the rest of his teammates are now put up to the test. Nico will be the examiner though, as he's looking to maybe go through that smoke, or at least spray through it. However, he himself has been tagged up. Crystal fakes as if he's going over towards connector, and Crystal's gonna start to go through the smoke instead. He's so careful, he's so wary. Does he realize Kjaerbye's around the corner? No, he doesn't. Now back to a 3v4. Stiko's got a deagle, would love to see it come into action, but Farling's off is even more important. He doesn't find the kill, and Martin is good for one, and that's not enough. Stiko left alone. 1v3, we've seen him pull off a colossal clutch. Can he do it again? He's got the peak and some tag damage, but he can't get the kill. And with this, Stiko will have to back off, try and save that armor perhaps. And while he backs off, he will have to forfeit the round. Is this going to be an eco for GODSENT to let Faze take 15?
I mean, it'll have to be. Look at the economy for GODSENT, not in a great spot. 3K is about the max that they're mustering into this one. Of course, we wouldn't be shocked to see a half investment, maybe a little lower than some teams would typically go for.
They did it yesterday as well versus Big.
Yeah, we pulled into question several times. Just why are you impeding on a potential gun round by investing into it? And then they win the round. So, I mean, our point is null and void. But Faze, I mean, that round really felt like it hinged a lot on how much priority Nico was taking away from Crystal as well. Just enabling Kjaerbye to find kills around that smoke. Really solid bait done by him. We'll see what GODSENT can bring into the round, or else this becomes 15. Oh, we may just have a small tech issue. Yeah, I'm hearing a couple of rattles, so...
We're hearing the tick, 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 tick,
yeah,
tick,
the pulse keeps on coming. We'll get to look more at the players. Oh, yeah. Just what I like.
Well, you know, listen, man, it gives us a bit more time to talk about a few other interesting things about that round as well. In particular, what I thought was curious was that Modern actually goes over, and once he's taking the posture for B short, he then swings out towards the middle of mid, and he kind of hovers around there. And while we hover around this particular angle, you get to see another one as well. There's a pause too over on Ninjas in Pajamas versus Sprout. They're going in sync with us, guys. We're soulmates.
Yeah, it does seem like they're answering back fairly well on their own map pick in Mirage. Sprout on the back burner.
Money's actually pretty bad for Sprout as well. So this will be a very difficult one, especially considering the Sprout has quite a strong double op setup. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, they're buying. Are they? Oh, because they're half buying around Falvin.
Hero op.
Yeah, so the hero op is something that I actually think the hero op in a situation like this is something I think is a little bit more viable, even though I'm sure Maui Snake in the green room is about to tell me I'm wrong. But it's still the fact that you can angle yourself to save this so much more effectively as long as it gets a kill or two, and maybe you have a few players behind it. Even if you show off a stack around the op, more often than not, teams will just try to avoid the stack. So if you get a pick off for the op, maybe there's a gun you can pick up, something like that. The priority in rounds like this is always saving the op, though, if you actually do go for it. I think there's a little bit more space in Counter-Strike as economy to be maybe exploring CTs, buying 1 or 2 weapons for the purpose of saving, or for the purpose of just getting lucky and having them all come to you and getting a multi-kill.
Yeah, and I've been highlighting the importance of the pistols for GODSENT in all of their matchups that we've seen so far in the groups. And I mean, that's not a storyline that's too foreign for a lot of other teams as well. You know, you get some high-level aimers, you get them on a deagle, and all it takes is one flick, and, you know, you get either another rifle to work off of, or at least more space for that ult to work around. I can definitely see the merit behind it, the feasibility of saving that weapon into a follow-up round if the gamble doesn't work out.
Yeah,
certainly there.
And it does work out there, so Sprout actually end up winning it. Admittedly, Falvin doesn't get a single kill, and it's actually D who gets 4. But hey, there is that too. Always nice to have. I'm sure we'll get a replay of that as well. Yeah, so Diha just has a couple of players pushing into him. He gets a free AK-47. That's actually also very interesting to see. All right, so guys, we are going to have to go to a bit of a short break. Unfortunately, there's some internet issues going on. And with that being said, we'll be back very shortly. Don't worry too much. There's a fantastic stream to watch. It's over at twitch.tv/DreamHackCS2. But make sure you keep checking back in here because this map is not over just yet.
Yeah, they're just going to be buying pistols by the looks of it into this round. Sprout have gone back to that double AWP setup as well. Snatchy and Spitty both having a bit of impact in that round, finally getting some kills with those AWPs on the CT side. So it is indeed Deagles for NIP ahead of this one. Nork with only 1,950 can't even buy anything. And even after he fully saves, he's not going to get the AWP out in the next round, which is a bit of a shame. Going to see Nip go back to this A bomb site, though. They don't have much on these 2 players around A. They do have a couple of nades, though. So it looks like Nip are going to try and sell a fake towards A with some nades and then maybe try and go for fights. And Plopsky just absolutely dome Snatchy. That was an AWP holding the angle at mid, and Plopsky just nails it. That's a good start to the round. And now, if I was Sprout, I would not be taking too many aim fights, because if you lose another player, all of a sudden this round could collapse for you.
Yeah, that is a fantastic start for the Deagle, but DreamHack is walking up middle, he's ready. Dennis also following up the double D combos, slapping them down. And Sprout hold the man advantage, following up as well with Favin. And now the play into the B-bomb site. Favin has been fantastic in this position, so we'll get to see him in action yet again. Just absolutely destroying them. Twist on last bullet. Headshot connects. 6th rounds on the board now for Sprout. And what a comeback it has been on this CT side. I've enjoyed this from Sprout. I've enjoyed this turnaround from them. And it all spawns off that one round where D-Hab pops off. He is currently 10-8 on the board right now. Favin is certainly been playing well, and Dennis as well. They've been the 2 leading stars and the 2 leading figureheads right now for them. But D-How had that one big round, and I feel like that's allowed the momentum to shift in favor of Sprout. Now what I would love to see is Snatchy getting involved. I want to see Snatchy have a bit more impact, and I might just get my prayers answered in this round.
And Snatchy getting boosted up at short. In the last couple of rounds haven't been as successful on these mid plays. Favin over at B has been having a really solid game as well, but this time Hampus wins that fight, and this is where Sprout are going to have some sort of response to that. Diha's still here towards B.
Snatchy.
A couple of smokes being thrown out at mid, and Snatchy really wants to find a fight, and he's going to get it. Rez jumps at just the wrong time. Snatchy is aware. Nice shot.
Yeah. I was starting to worry for him there. I was kind of seeing a world in which he gets peeked out from the angle that was his blind side. But luckily, He's presented an opportunity and he doesn't miss. He takes that chance and he wins the fight. Now man advantage is neutralized. Back to a 4v4, but Dennis is giving it away. Hampus, with his second kill of the round, has secured another advantage for NIP. Heading into the late stages of round 14. We'll be turning that bomb back over to the A bomb site. Currently, there's only one player close to the vicinity, and it's Spiddy. Boosted on top of the ticket box, but gets away from the flashbang, but is now forced to behind. Oh no, 2 headshots just immediately come through, and just like that, it's all on Snatchy to win the whole round. He needs all 5 kills, and like I said, going into this round, he had 4 of them, so this is almost impossible.
A misdirection, faking the drop down sound. That might work. No, oh, he was looking at connector, but he looks back in time. A couple of shots into the body as he steals Snatchy's AWP for the last round of the half. 8-6 for Nip right now. Sprout will be okay, I think, though. If they get 7 rounds, they'll be fine with that. They'll definitely be keeping themselves in this game. Are we really going to see a triple AWP setup, Dinko? It looks like it. Favin's been AWPing on B, peeking into the B apps. Snatchy has been around mid and short in some of these rounds, and Spiddy's been playing on A. So 3 AWPs in play. What are Nip going to do against this? They're trying to go quickly, but Snatchy already prepared for the first fight, and Rez just crosses by. He gets the kill because of it. Snatchy still looking for this angle over connector, but he can't find it. So it's a 1-for-1 trade on the mid plays as Rez decides to back it up. Happens pushed through B with his AWP, by the way.
Yeah.
What a madman.
He's got a lot of control, and the bomb is on the other end of this doorway. Currently, though, they do have Nok watching for this, so Favin might just meet a sticky fate. Yeah, he's had a long walk to his death. And that's all he will find. And now we are looking at NIP in the lead by 1 kill. But DreamHack could have changed that fact. Rez nearly caught sleepy, but wakes up in time to find the headshot, and Plops kill low. You're around the corner there. Luckily, he gets away with it. And Snatchy yet again left in an impossible clutch. It looks like NIP will be taking 9 rounds. In fact, it's almost confirmed. Snatchy is the only thing that stands between them and that 9th round, and they have 4 angry players looking to take him away. Snatcher will walk forward, hits the quick shot, but still so many more to find and vastly different positions to find them in. Currently, they've got Rez, who is repositioned from middle back to the ramp, 1 player on default, and 1 inside a CT spawn as well. So, winning this round with no utility apart from a flashbang, 5 HP. Good night, Snatchy. 9-6 at the half. NIP recover from their first map woes. It's time for a short break, but we'll see if NIP can continue their success and maybe force us to a 3rd map.
Z takes 2. And oh my god, they're just bunny hopping across the crosshairs. Nico out here by 6, and Surreal, well, he does connect it. Frantic, they were getting hectic, and they are still possible for Tesses. He has his hands on an M4, and in the 1v3, he's gotten the first. He's got the information on the other 2, and this could be the close. Are you kidding? Tesses with a killer instinct goes from Glock to M4.
They're looking down the barrel of yet another group stage exit as the bottom team, and how horrible that would be. Rez with the headshot. Sergey falls victim to the rifle. Alu successful in finding the kill onto Hampus. Now he's going to go back for more, trying to be the hero, trying to deliver, and he's got 3. He really has been the shot
of beauty. And that thing is going to be the fact that GODSENT have gone for the force buy instead of saving up for one last hurrah. They don't want to let this go to overtime, but you know what? I wouldn't really mind that. And I don't think Michael Yumi Cassidy, who's still somehow on the microphone with me, would mind it either.
Yeah, we have been noticing a trend when we've been casting together. You say my name probably more than your own, so, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Give yourself your own little plugs feed time.
It seems really weird to say Mamoon Tea times Sabri.
It's like,
I don't know why.
Speaking in the 3rd person now. That's the kind of narrative of first we're taking.
Maybe we need to start off like with a cutesy letter. Oh, he's Michael Yumikaze, and you say, and he's Mamoon T times Sabri.
Yeah, okay. I don't think we're gonna be doing any sort of stage shows where we need to be doing cute handoffs like that.
Oh, I thought we were gonna stage host together, man.
Okay. I mean, we'll get there someday. But today's that's not right now.
Today it's a stage for the players, and these players have had a long game to get to where they are. GODSENT with a couple of fantastic clutches from Stiko, a few good moments from Martin as well, but they need more than minutes. They need themselves a bit of brilliance over here if they want to win this one out. Faze Clan have shown some signs of weakness, but right now they are all strength. And when I say they're all strength, I mean they all have head armor, which is probably going to be good for them in this round at least.
Yeah, Nika's having a great game as well. He's been that player we highlighted to be this impact initiative player, similar sort of vein for Stiko, but he typically has somebody alongside him to make those big plays. And quite often it can be something that can go punished. I mean, we call back to the big game. You know, we've been referencing that quite a lot throughout this series because that seemed to be the most tumultuous road for either team involved. And if Nico started to have a bit of a poor showing, then that became a bit of a liability for their CT side. We'll see if that maintains form, if he continues his good stead. Brokey, sharp shot in through middle. Farley was trying to make some quick pace towards B short. The same sort of a play that Nico went for, and GODSENT accelerate towards B.
coldzera now with the AWP, already in a 5v3, knows he can take this one away, but Cole, he's been forced back just a bit, and he wants to play it safe and let Kirby have the glory as coldzera takes a bullet. Modern finds two, but that won't really matter. At the end of the day, Faze take it to 15, and it all comes off the back of the fact that GODSENT do not throw their second smoke in time. Brokey shouldn't have had a sight line onto Farley in that position. The smoke that was coming in was supposed to bloom before he's landed, but for some reason they paused before throwing it, and that just leads to a position where Kirby can feel so much more secure in towards jail, because he knows that there's no one coming from short. So, when all said and done, fantastic stuff coming through from Faze Clan, but some mistakes already made from GODSENT. Now it's going to be a faster play towards A. Nico's found one through the smoke. He's just praying, and Rain does the same, but his prayers are answered with 3 kills and a 16 for Faze Clan.
Oh my goodness, how quickly that went by after such a long wait. After sitting through the pauses, the internet gets restarted and Faze Clan accelerate through to the second map. What a performance of lockdown holds on A and B alike. Of course, we have had our fair share of words, but there's, of course, so much to break down for this game because it felt like it was quite back and forth, some crucial clutch moments being won by either side.
I mean, either side also dropped the ball at a lot of different places, but Michael, I'm not qualified for this, am I really? You're probably a bit more qualified than I am, but even so, a few people who are very qualified are waiting on the other side of a break, which we'll go to. We'll be back in just a few minutes with
Stiko, this is an opportunity for us to find out more about you as a person, what makes you tick.
Sprout might feel a bit pressured now. They have no information on this A side of the map, so they might see if they can get an opening towards B.
Well, if they can find an opening into this B bomb side defense, that could turn things around. But instead, that's exactly what Sprout have done. They've turned this round around. They're not going to be going from B. They'll instead turn their attentions to the underpass. Faven, 17-9. He is one of those individuals I was talking about when I opened the second half, talking about how there were signs of life from a few of the individuals from Sprout. But it has been quiet performance. I think Spitty and Snatchy fall into that category. DreamHack bar his big round has also been extremely quiet, especially in comparison to his performance the last time around when these two teams competed on Mirage. Look at the setup right now from Sprout. It's all across the map. They're trying to find some sort of information, trying to still figure out where they want to go with this one. NIP have not given them anything, and there's only 35 seconds left, and that was nearly another chance for a kill for NIP, but no kill will come on the server right now. Man advantage is still with Nip in 27 seconds.